Okay, welcome to this meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit Board, August 12th, 2019. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Director Budge?
Yeah.
Here. Director Hansen? Here. Director Harris is marked as being absent. Director Howell?
Here.
Director Hume?
Here.
Director Jennings?
Here.
Director Miller?
Present.
Director Natoli?
Here.
Director Chenier?
Here.
Director Cerna?
Here.
Chair Kennedy?
Here.
With that, we have a quorum at 100 votes. This meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District will be cablecast without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel. Tonight's meeting will air on August 14th at 2:00 p.m. and will be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. It is also closed caption. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should fill out a speaker card located at the rear of the room and provide it to me or Adam. Please speak into the microphone and state your name for the record. We would appreciate everyone turning off their cell phones. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have consent calendar items 1 through 5, noting that you have speakers on 3 and 4.
Okay. Let's all check our. Not mine. Okay, let's start with number 3, Jeffrey Tartagia.
Jeffrey Tartagia. Beyond asking for the Route 51 number 222 bus stop through here is the question is, would it not be better for the 30 or is it 3,000 plus signs that are going to be coming down, being exchanged, whatever, that whether it's a 1 cent or $1, so you have some clue as far as where somebody, uses a stop to how familiar they are. I'm pretty sure nobody knows what 222 stands for, but it's the one by the county administration and the one that's right across from the county jail for route number 51. I just bring that up as a comment as this consent item is here about how you dispose of things, and I'm just wondering whether it would be a good tool to find out how popular the information and, in a sense, who requests what bus stops. It's just a suggestion, because you probably will find where some very popular stops are and some that never get used.
Okay, thank you. And may as well stay there, Jeffrey. Number 4, Jeffrey Tartagia.
I'm looking for clarification from the general manager about exactly what is going to be the use, because I know that in a previous meeting you held one where you had some, we'll call it contributions, and that the general manager at his discretion could distribute certain passes and tickets. I'm wondering now, since we're trying to eliminate, and I don't think we're going to be able really to eliminate the, shall we say, paper passes, but I'm presuming that these type of passes are going to be a printout like you have used sometime of this year. And the other looking for is if you've done this in the past, in this last year or two, where did they get utilized? Was it for Senior Day? Was it for Veterans Day? Where it was utilized? I'm just looking for some clarification. And did I miss that in the report about explaining what days that those were going to be used for? Maybe the board knows, but I just wondered where those 7 days were going to be designated and utilized for.
Mr. Lee, you want to answer that offline or right now?
I will answer him off the line.
Okay, great. Thank you. That is all of the cards I have for the consent calendar. Is there any member of the board that has any questions or comments on the consent calendar?
I'll move consent.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you.
Motion carries by 100 votes. Next item is public addresses the board on matters not on the agenda.
And we do have 2 cards. First, Mike Barnbaum.
Hello, good evening, President Kennedy, members of the board, staff, and audience. Mike Barnbaum here. So with SAC-RT Forward starting in 4 weeks, just to highlight, a little later on in your agenda, there will be a full marketing presentation, but wanted to highlight the 7-day-a-week service always being there for you, the more frequent service, and one that gets a lot of people, and they're very happy about, is the later evening service. And so I wanted to talk about that, as I've talked to some people offline. I've even talked to Clerk of the Board, Cindy Brooks, about this. And the first request I wanted to make for an item to come back to the board on August 23rd is a consideration of starting board meetings at 6 p.m. rather than 5:30 p.m. and maintaining the order of the agenda exactly as it is now, with no rearranging anything of where the items are placed, just moving the start time to 6 p.m. This way people don't have to rush coming over here from an 8 to 5 job, particularly if they're downtown, and going just 30-minute start time later rather than a full hour or hour and a half like the Yolo County Transportation District Board does, which they start at 7 p.m. I felt 7 p.m. was asking a little bit too much, so 6 p.m. request start time to come back for discussion at the board on August 23rd is the request this evening. And the second request, speaking of the Yolo County Transportation District Board, which is meeting tonight at 7 p.m., one of the items they're discussing on their on their agenda, which I think is going to be of heavy interest to RT, is the UCD campus, UCD Medical Center System Shuttle. And there is a full presentation. I get their agenda materials in my inbox when they're going to have a board meeting. I thoroughly looked at every item, and this one stood out as one that would be of heavy interest to this board. And so for the August 23rd board meeting, the second request would be to bring that item back as either an information or information action item at such time, which is a follow-up to what's being discussed in Woodland this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mike's impeccable with dates and times, but our next meeting is August 26th, is it not?
Believe so.
You kept saying August 23rd, Mike, so it's
That
August
is
26th.
correct, Director Natoli. It is
I got
August 26th.
August and September mixed up.
No problem. Yes, I tell you.
September 23rd would have been the only meeting happening in September, as I did see your signature,
Okay.
where we're focusing on SAC-RT Forward for the first week
Okay.
and not having a board meeting September 9th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. August 26th, I stand corrected.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Jeffy Tartagia.
Nice catch.
Hard to do.
Jeffrey Tartagia. Now, because usually you guys take things in 3, I'm going to start off with the first one is last MAC meeting, we got introduced to the modular bus shelter. Wanting to let you board members know that come Wednesday from actually 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, there is going to be at the customer service over there on our street is going to be apparently a demonstration of this modular 10 by so foot, should we say, portable shelter bus stop, okay, which is going to have a ramp and the other things to make it accessible. It's just something, and that came out of because for the first time with the new bus stops and everything else, I wondered whether the board was aware of it and even the specifications for it. One of the things that this year I've had to repeatedly ask is specification, configuration, layouts. These, shall we say, buses that are going to be used between UC Davis, really, who's seen the configuration of what they are laid out at? I was able to see one and really think that the whole row of buses that are, should we say, of seats that are on the right side really need to be pulled and reconfigured. But the other thing I'm going to say is we had 26 people at the academy, what's called Transit Academy, that's been meeting, and the final meeting will take place this coming Thursday night. You had 10 RT people there. And not one of them made the mention that there was this board meeting for those members that are seriously interested in transportation, including our Patrick Kennedy, that as he spoke about some good things about the academy and about what's needed for funding of public transportation. We have one more meeting, and I hope Roger will explain some projects that he's got in mind in the future. And I now hear that it'll be next year that we'll be seeing the low-floor light rail. But I also would like to encourage, which I made at the MAC meeting, the suggestion, that for the old CVT that you've refurbished, is will you please pull on the front row at the ends, the single, should we say, panel that's there so that you have a full accessibility. Because the problem is the end seats, so you only have 2 seats for anybody going in there at the end for accessibility. If you do that, that leaves you 2 more seats available. And the 1 inch that goes over that makes the aisle now where you cannot put large wheelchairs and electric scooters through there, if you were to move that, that would give them the access. Well, I guess I have in the last seconds through here. Saturday, the system was down for sending out signals, which dealing with what time buses were going by. Fortunately, we called the emergency line through there, and the person didn't know, but they knew. They said, I'll find it, and it got fixed. So I compliment you that was something that somebody responded with very well on Saturday.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I believe it's Ronnie Mirander. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm not happy with the service. The buses are always late. The inspectors are very disrespectful. I've made several complaints. I've always mailed my complaint forms. And, you know, it's very hard for a disabled person like myself and others that the guys need to fix these times when I'm riding the bus and the light rail. And, I have appointments. I go to school, and it's just very difficult for someone like me to always. I have to wait for the next bus, or I have to be there early. It could be 105 degrees outside, and all these new changes, and please consider that, and I'm tired of these drivers being rude. I shouldn't have to, come here and let the whole board know about these people. And, I'm a disabled person, and I access these services. I'm a grown adult just like everyone else. So, I understand that funding is, I'm not really familiar with the funding sources. So just take that in consideration, and you guys have a good day.
Thank you very much for coming in tonight.
Mr. Chair, can I ask the speaker what routes you use? You.
I route 62, route 67, route 68, and I don't like the fact when you get to N Street, the drivers have to switch shifts. That causes my business to be late. I ride the light rail a lot, and So
Good, thank you. I wanted our executive team to understand which routes in particular, so they can better understand the challenge here.
Well, we will take a look at your complaining forms, and then we will get back to you. I will personally get back to you to say what happened and how we can
I've
go.
called many times. I called so many times. So,
Thank you. All right, that's all of the cards I have for off agenda. Next item.
Me? Next item, item number 6, General Manager's Report.
Mr. Lee.
Good evening, Chair Kennedy, members of the board, and the public. Thank you, sir. In July, we had a working board retreat instead of a board meeting. The retreat was very productive, and the staff really appreciate the vision and the direction the board provided. In that meeting, we announced that our FY19 ridership exceeded FY18 ridership, the first time in last 5 years. Today, I'm very happy to inform you that our July's ridership, just last month, the ridership is about 10% higher than last July. With light rail, light rail has the highest ridership. It's about 18% higher. Bus is kind of just 2 or 3% higher. This is very encouraging news. And that's why the Sacramento forward is so important, because with the routes change and lots of delay or whatever, it's because of the heavy traffic, especially in the downtown areas. And we are adjusting those type of time frame, whatever. So hopefully the on-time performance will be much better. Also, I did not get a chance to update board and the public about what's going on with Elk Grove service. We work with City of Elk Grove staff very diligently in the first 3.5 months before the service conversion. Then last month, July 1st, we officially started the business, and the service has been very, very smooth. The cancellations or interruptions virtually reduced by 80 or 90%, and we did not have any even minor accident. And we employed over 100 staff from the previous contractor, and also very happy to let public know that the first month's ridership for Elk Grove increased by 20%. Just like we did for the Folsom, it's about 17% for Folsom ridership. So it is great, first month's result. And I talked to city manager of Elk Grove. He asked me what is behind that. And the primary reason is, less cancellation. We actually only canceled one trip, just one trip. That is because of the procedural, communication procedural issue. But then we didn't have cancellation. But previously, MV, transportation, they had lots of cancellations. So that is probably number one reason.
Well, and the fact that I rode the bus to have lunch with you, so that caused a spike in ridership.
Yeah, that's one ridership.
So you're going to do it every day?
But it was quite on time, right? Because it's less than 3 minutes, whatever. Yeah.
And I can report that the sign and the shelter are now in the same location, rather than I was sitting at the shelter with the sign was on the other side of the street. So
Already? Hey, thank you for.
Oh, my God.
We look forward to continuing to make improvements and working with the city to provide the best possible public transportation. I really want to thank the hard work of Sacramento staff, because they spend hours, working on the weekends, early mornings. When I talk about early mornings, means 2 or 3 a.m. and late nights to ensure a smooth transition. Certainly, really appreciate Director Hume, for the strong leadership in, the side of City of Elk Grove. So that are some good news. I want to add one more good news, and then I will not talk about good news anymore. Sacramento was just informed that we will be receiving FY20 government finance office association's outstanding budget award. The nationwide, every time they have like annual meeting, over 20,000 people attend the association's annual meeting, and they give this type of prestigious award. One of those prestigious awards is the outstanding budget award. This is really a testament of how far we have come in the last few years. The reviewers, those evaluators, made some very good comments. They talked about our budget was well and efficiently organized and highly transparent, so everybody can find information they need. Certainly, I would like to thank our community organizations, advocacy groups like SAC2, Riders Union, and others, and Downtown 360, right, Mike? For pushing us, reminding us during the budget, process, hey, need to put those details, information in the budget book. The whole team of budget team and finance team did a wonderful job. I don't know if they are here. Nadia, Judy, Christine, and Maria, and their attention to detail and high standards are truly valued. Also, this shows the community that Sacramento is a great physical steward with dedicated and knowledgeable employees. So that's some of the awards I want to share. But next, I would like to recognize a familiar face that will soon be rejoining the Sacramento family. Captain Lisa Hans. Captain Lisa, where? Hey. She left us a year ago because she misses us. So we invite her back, and she will return to Sacramento as our Vice President for Security, Safety, and Customer Satisfaction. She volunteered to take the responsibility of our customer service centers. And she will be official, employee of the RT. And the last 3 years, Captain Leon and Lieutenant, Justin, Riley, and Captain Lisa, you guys built a top national security safety model for us to win the, TSA Good Standard Award. Just thank you guys for your leadership and for your service, especially Justin. We hope he will get promoted to captain in the next couple months. And Captain Lom, was promoted to captain when he was still here. And when Lisa was still here as a lieutenant, and Lisa got promoted to captain. So next is Justin's turn. Back to you.
Henry, can I just say something on that? And it used to be that RT was where the law enforcement agencies sent people that they couldn't find another place for a variety of reasons. And this is a totally different way than it used to be, where people want to be here. It is Captain Leong effort when he first came here, and then you've all followed in those shoes, and so thank you for all your hard work. It really does make a difference. The DSA, obviously, deputy sheriffs do a great job for us as well, not just SAC PD. I just want to make that clear to my friends on the county board, so thank you.
Thank you. Finally, as we continue to roll out additional service initiatives, Sacramento has embarked on an important marketing campaign to inform the public about our effort and our upcoming plans in October as part of Sacramento Forward, and also to inform the public about what type of massive changes we are making, so, we can reach the hearts and the minds of the public to support potentially next year's Measure A funding, especially get a little bit more money for transit. So I would like to ask our marketing director, Justin Gonzalez, to make a brief presentation to brief our outreach effort.
All right. Thank you, Henry. Again, my name is Jessica Gonzalez. I'm the Director of Marketing, Communications, and Public Information here at SacRT. I will keep this brief. In front of you, I hope you guys all got your SacRT Forward pen. Please bring that with you wherever you go. We appreciate the promotion. How many people have seen one of our billboards, either static or digital? Yes. So this month we have 15 different static and digital billboards. Right down here at the end of the street, we have one of our static billboards, so make sure you check that out. So they're throughout Sacramento County. They're running up through September and some even almost into October. They've been really successful. One of the things that we added that we've never done before was adding in mobile targeting. So if someone's on a cell phone or an iPad anywhere near one of these billboards, they will get a pop-up, which can then, if they click on that, bring it to our website to learn more about the new Best Network. So we're really excited about that. We've had nearly 1 million impressions, so that's 1 million people who could have possibly seen that ad. And we've had over 4,000 people actually click and go to the website. Those are numbers as of last week. Our website, we've been really seeing a lot of hits over the last 2 weeks. Definitely increase a lot for people who are wanting to learn about the new Bus Network. We're probably a lot closer to about 12,000 hits to our page since June, and we're going to see that rising because we have a lot of new campaigns that are coming out in these next couple weeks. Our street team, so I'm sure you guys have heard about them over the last few weeks. We have 19 street team members. They're out every single day during our morning hours, morning peak hours, our afternoon peak hours, and then during different events. We have a SacRT Forward Outreach bus that we bring out to different locations and to different community events. And so they're out there talking to riders every single day, and we've reached over 10,000 riders in-person contacts since June. And so that has been amazing. Our social media, we're definitely seeing a lot of increased social media likes and shares. So we're really excited about that. We are working actively on some Instagram videos, and our actual sponsored digital and social media campaign launched today. So we're going to see a really big increase to this. We've reached over 50,000 people, but I expect that to double in the next couple weeks. The other big thing that's happening, we've had 30-second TV ads. They've been out on Fox 40 and ABC. Today we started on CBS 13 and Univision, and then in September we'll start on KCRA. We also are going to be starting on a number of radio stations. We have about 16 different stations we'll be on starting next week and leading up through September. And then we're also doing a lot of newspapers. Hopefully you've seen some of the local newspaper ads, magazines, and many, many more. The other thing that we're starting is some chalk ads near our different bus stops and putting up a lot of different bus stop signage. So some promoting the routes, some letting people know that service can be discontinued at this route and to check out our website for your nearest route, and lots of other different ways that we have planned to communicate with our riders. But so far it's going very well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to go back. I guess I have a card from Barbara Stanton for item not on the agenda.
Sorry, Barbara.
An afterthought. They're not going to like it. Okay. Barbara Stanton, Ridership for the Masses, Chair Kennedy, and directors. Tonight we gave out the Top Banana Award in front of the building before the meeting to two transit advocates, Michael Barnbaum and Jeffrey Tardagia. And we gave it out to both of them because They always keep you guys on your toes. And they'll always be there to remind you that things need to be fixed and ask for your help to get them done. So we are really privileged. They were in a field of two others, and we decided because they were non-paid and, come here out of the goodness of their heart and have been doing that for a long time, that we should do that. So we're happy to give that to them. And one other thing, I'm involved with the Sacramento Resident Advisory Board, which is an SHRA HUD-funded board. And in our last tenant focus, which is our quarterly newspaper, we put out about SAC Forward. So it reaches out to about 3,000 tenants. So we were happy to do that for regional transit. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, back to number 6, Jeffrey Tartagia.
Well, this Jeff Tartagia, this is supposed to be dealing with the STA component aspect of there, which met last Thursday. And if you didn't see it, ask Norm for a copy, because I think it did a very excellent job of regional transit presentation of unmet needs and paratransit's unmet needs. Norm is supposed to be working on that, so getting from the access the ability of that disc in. I believe he's talking with you guys a little bit about the type of YouTube to see whether that service, because they said that is something you have provided for, and I think it's been a very useful tool to give the access to the public to see and to find out what regional transit is doing and going back. The other thing on there is encouraging you people as far as what is going to be the new emphasis, and also dealing, this is part of the general manager's report, really want to encourage and see that as you're going to have a closed session with him, is that please keep it reasonable as far as the things through there, until there is a success rate. One of the things, I hear these numbers coming up, but I have not seen substantially the record of where this is coming up at. I've heard you say, Henry, about light rail and everything else in the few months, but I've not seen the documentation and the reports that show you how substantiating what the numbers are going up, whether it's a specific line or whatnot. And apparently you are collecting the information, so you have it. And since you now have the ability through your passenger, should we say, monitoring service, I've directed a couple of the questions to ask about dealing with disability riders, bike riders, and everything else. I wonder whether that information would be helpful in being collected. I also understand that, soon you will be doing the testing on the light rail. My biggest concern has been this year is that nowhere have been the configurations, the specifications on any of these things have been provided. We've just been told this is what's happening. It took a while for me to learn that these 6 buses have a separate power system because they come from, China, to what, shall we say, SMUD, only having the capacity for this area of less than 50 buses to be powered here electrically. So I just bring these things as concerns for the future and policies that you are making that are going on.
Thank you. Sorry. And the other top banana, Mr. Barnbaum.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Thank you. So to piggyback on the marketing presentation, so as mentioned earlier, 4 weeks away, and it finally launches Sunday, September 8th. Unbelievable how time went so quickly from the end of February to now, and we're just on the cusp of it happening. The radio station advertising blitz is going to be awesome. I would add to that slide that Bonneville Stations Incorporated in Sacramento need to be included as part of that, and that would include KYMX Mix 96.1, playing today's hits and yesterday's favorites, now 100.5 FM for folks living in the now, and Sports 1140 KHTK, your home of the A's, Kings, Sharks, and local sports talk all week long. Those are critical stations out there, and want to make sure that they're included in the slide, and to also include the fact that regional transit riders aren't just riders within the greater Sacramento County-wide area. One service I want to highlight that people are getting more and more accustomed to transfer to regional transit and from regional transit serves the greater Northern California mega region, and that's our Amtrak Capital Corridor service. Offering 15 round-trip weekday trains and 11 round-trip weekend trains. The Capital Corridor is a traffic-free, hassle-free way between Sacramento, the Bay Area, and Silicon Valley. A lot of people request the transit transfer. They can get to Sacramento Regional Transit District at Sacramento Valley Station through the Gold Line, Route 30, and starting September 8th, Route 38 will be joining the family at Sacramento Valley Station. So one radio station that perhaps would be great to reach out to the Capital Corridor riders that covers people throughout the mega region is All News 740 and FM 106.9 KCBS. A lot of people get that even up here in Sacramento, and it reaches a 50,000 watt audience. The station is based at Broadway and Battery in San Francisco, but its reach is throughout the Capital Corridor.
I think we should just have you be doing YouTube videos or something like. I cannot believe you have all that data in your head.
I would be humbled, honored, and happy to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You definitely are a top banana, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. All right. That's all the cards I have.
Next
item?
item, I'm sorry. Next item, item number 7, San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority meeting report in your package. If Director Hume has anything to add, and he's shaking his head no.
It's a beautiful day in Modesto.
All right.
Item number 8. Item number 8, Sacramento Placerville Transportation Corridor Joint Powers Authority meeting of August 5th. You have a written report in your package. If Director Budge has anything further to add.
Not unless Director Natoli does. We're cool.
They're good.
Or the chair of that board.
Or the chair, you're right. Sorry, we're not.
It was
used
a
to having
beautiful
you.
day in Folsom too.
Next item is the announcement of closed session items. There are 2 items. Number 1, public employee performance evaluation, title General Manager CEO. And number 2, conference. Number 2 is canceled.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Somewhere in here, we have a board member comments section. And I just want to, I know everybody has heard about Ollie and has seen it, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows that they are welcome to come and ride. It's in the office park across the street from Light Rail where E-Trade used to be. And it's supposed to be running all day, and it just runs around the parking lot. And it really was a hoot. I think Don and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So everybody's welcome to come and ride it. And you don't have to live in Rancho. You can come from anywhere.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Then with that, we will recess to closed session.